Hey everyone, happy new year again. It's Thursday, January 4th, second show of the year. Uh First time back on Instagram for the year. That's good. We didn't do it yesterday. Thought this restream service was going to do it for us all in one, but it doesn't. So now we're back on Instagram the old-fashioned way. But I got a slightly new camera angle, which is nice. You have to tell me how that is if there are any Instagram regulars. And I don't think there are. I think everyone who's a regular moves over to YouTube because they're smart. And it's youtube.com/no-meat-athlete. In fact, I'm going to pin that to the top because it's much better. All right, Doug's been added to YouTube or Instagram. Now I see I need to adjust my camera when I'm only on half of it. Looks good, though. Okay, Doug, how's it going? How are you?
Matt, I am doing well. Happy Thursday morning. Getting ready to kick off the weekend.
Last day of the week, kind of, as far as this show is concerned anyway. Nice 2-day week to get us back in the swing of things. And yeah, thank goodness, because I don't know, just seems like this week's already too long, in my opinion.
2 days you're a day and a couple hours into it, and it's already too long. All right.
Yeah. But that's all right. What are you gonna do? We got some fun stuff today. A little bit of an interesting story. I'd say a controversial take on Veganuary and how one might go about doing it if one is running into trouble already on January 4th. But yeah, so we'll get to that and some more stuff. Not too much of a weather report today, but it's fun. I didn't mention Doug. I meant to mention this, but I don't know if my mom's listening today, but she has been known to kind of listen to the show and then give me gifts for different occasions based on things that we recommend on the show.
Did you get a bag of pretzels?
No bag of pretzels. I don't think. Okay. No pretzels. Right. But I'm probably going to forget something. I think she got me like 3 things that we've mentioned on this show for Christmas and my birthday, which are back-to-back days. Yeah. One of them was she had already got me the pasta bowls that we talked about.
Yeah, the pasta bowls. Which have you been using those?
Yeah. I've used them probably twice a week. And I like them. I wouldn't say it has changed anything fundamentally about my eating, but
that's just because I recommended them. If you had found them, you would know that it's a complete game changer. You're never going to use the plate again.
Honestly, none of my food bumps up against the side of the plate to where like you would need that edge lip to keep it in. I guess the food I eat is just more contained and controlled and neat than that. I don't know, but I like them, and they're nice looking things.
Okay. Yep. So pasta bowls. What else?
She got me pasta bowls. And then in our gift guide that I think we did early December, there was the ninja food chopper thing, because ours had just broken. And we said it looked like it didn't have a bottom on it. We weren't really sure how it worked, but that's actually really nice. She said she got it on sale. It was usually $30 at Kohl's or Target or something, and she ended up getting it for $20. And it's awesome. Like we made. I've made a bunch of stuff with it, chopped onions and things with it, which is good. But like we make vegan sprinkled cheese with cashews and nutritional yeast. Like I think everybody or a lot of people make that now. But it just like made a really nice, consistent grind. It was basically like a burr grinder for that. It's not a burr grinder, but it just made consistent grind. It was nice. So I really like that product. That's a great product for $20 or $30. We'll see how long it lasts. But that's been great. That coffee book, James Hoffman, someone recommended a coffee table book. She got me that for my birthday.
Wow.
Which is very nice. Wow. I've only leafed through a little bit right now. I know. And then I think there was one more that a laptop stand, but that's not, I didn't mention that.
I don't know if that was a recommendation on the morning show, but
yeah, I don't think it was, but I thought there was another one. But related to that, Erin for Christmas, the biggest gift she got me was a burr grinder, the one that we talked about, the Baratza, the Virtuoso Plus,
the higher price,
the higher end. Yep. And so I then regifted or gave my old one to my dad for Christmas, which I wasn't planning to do, but turned out to be a nice gift. He got to. So that worked out. And I meant to ask you, did you get a Baratza? That was on your list.
No, I didn't get one. And actually, you talking about it makes me, because I got the thumbs up to just go ahead and order it. So I'm just gonna do that.
Okay.
Just by myself.
There you go. I mean, it's the same thing, right? Money comes from the same place,
right.
probably.
It's the same thing. That's right. I meant to call this out. I got so I've been on the hunt. If you're a regular listener to No Meat Athlete Radio, I've talked about this for many years about my hunt for vegan slippers.
Really?
Good quality vegan slippers.
Never heard that.
You don't remember that at all? I know I brought it up because I've asked for advice for people, like what vegan slippers people have, because I still have a pair of LO bean slippers I've had for 12 years that are way over what they need to be, but I just haven't found a pair of slippers that, I don't
So
want
what
like a
they have
flimsy.
is their leather like the outside?
Yeah, they're like suede or whatever
Uh-huh. Are they
leather.
all that, or is the inside like a fleece kind of thing? But
The
deep
inside is probably wool.
wool. Okay.
I don't know, but they're way past their lifespan. I've just been
Mm-hmm.
using them because that's the only slipper I had. I finally got a new pair of slippers this year. Katie found me a pair from a company called it's PAWJ, Paul, but there's the logo is Paul, but there's a J at the end.
Okay.
And they're all vegan, cruelty free. I think it's all slippers, and huge fan. Highly recommend. Yes.
Wow. All right. Paul J. I thought LL Bean things were good for life, and like if you like, even if you made a mistake and lost your backpack, you can just tell them, "Hey, this thing failed, and I want a new one." They'll give you a new backpack.
They have rolled back a little bit of their because which I know this because I had a friend in college who would go to thrift stores, get LL Bean gear, and then just take it. He lived in Maine. He would take it back to LL Bean and exchange it for the new version of whatever that is.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
And so he'd get like a $4 backpack, that's valued at $200, something like that, because you just get the $4 one at the thrift store. It's not now you have to have proof of receipt. You have proof of purchase.
Okay. Well, that's still pretty good. I mean, that's kind of what I thought was the point to begin with. So yeah, that's nice if they still do that.
Anne Marie has good LL Bean for life stories. Oh, and shout out to, speaking of more gifts, the tofu press. I can't believe I've been living this long without a tofu press. I can't believe I've been vegan this long.
You were telling everybody that they were bad and they were no good.
Well, right, because the one I had was bad and no good. It's great. I've used it like 10 times since she got it to me last week.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I know.
A lot.
They're really nice. Right.
Yeah.
I can't see the chat today. It's asking me to log in, and I don't know what I would log in with. So you'll just need to be the one who reads all those things today.
All right. So we should give some shout outs. Brandon Turner's here. Britters is here. Allie, Anne Marie, Kate Rivercat, Phyllis, Aaron D. Good to have everybody. Britters is the one who recommended the Coffee Atlas book.
Oh yeah, you're probably right.
So
good.
Very nice.
Yes, wonderful. Okay. Any more progress made on the twin study documentary, twin experiment?
No.
You are what you eat. No,
I did not watch any more last night. Nope. I went out last night. Met some friends.
Oh. A little early. Wednesday drink.
2 nights in a row. Yeah. Tonight I'm going on the night's band practice too.
Okay. Good.
How about you?
All right.
You go back to it? Revisit?
No, I'm not going to. We watched. I think I saw all of it, and I dropped in and out, and that was all I needed.
You've had enough.
It was okay, but no need for me to go rewatch that. Yeah. Anyway, no big deal. Just thought seems like a hot topic right now. There's a bunch of articles about it. Time Magazine had one on time.com. I think that's
good.
Yeah, and it was like, is a plant-based diet really good for you? Which is the topic of other stuff. Other headlines is today related to a fast food study, which we will talk about in a minute. But yeah, Time Magazine is just asking, is this sort of the definitive proof that it is good for you? And of course, the answer is no. And they link to some other articles that question whether a Mediterranean diet is just as good, which typically would include some fish. And I don't know. So it's good that it's getting mainstream attention. That's a good thing. And it is pro-vegan, the message and the study result. So it's good. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, like I said before, the pushing of veganism by the documentary instead of appearing to be like an objective, like let's just report what happened in the study. That bothers me. It makes it just seem like it's not going to be effective. If I was trying to, evaluate diets and stuff, I'd say this isn't going to do it for me. I need something that is clearly the point is to be objective from the start, no agenda. And I don't know. I didn't like that.
Yeah,
but it's just me.
Hey, so yesterday we talked about the top vegan or the top diets in 2024 from the U.S. News report.
Yep.
And we broke down all the diets, but CNN, my mom sent me this article. CNN published, their like kind of recap of that U.S. News report, and they say in the like second or third paragraph that all top 3 diets are plant-based. So that kind of goes to the confusion around what the term plant-based actually means.
Yeah.
But I actually kind of thought that was a good thing. I mean, maybe it's also a bad thing because it's adding to the confusion, but maybe a good thing because then, kind of people begin to associate plant-based again with the healthier diets. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess I personally think that a much more likely positive outcome for the future than the world goes vegan is that the world eats a whole lot more vegetables and a lot less meat. Like that would be a great thing. And as you're kind of getting at, all those diets, flexitarian, Mediterranean, I don't know what they all are, Dash, Mind. Yeah. So they're plant forward would be what you would say. They have way more vegetables than most people eat. They feature vegetables as like a big part of the meal rather than an afterthought, which for most people in the United States, I think they are. So like that's great, and I think that's probably what we can hope for. It's maybe not the best animal cruelty outcome, although it's still a good one because I think if people start eating that way,
it would reduce the meat consumption significantly. I think
it would reduce it, and I just think people would by virtue of paying more attention to their food and caring about what they're eating, I think people would make different choices when it comes to meat, and maybe even pay more for stuff that is raised more healthily, more ethically, So it's a good thing, and I think if people can feel like the name plant-based is applying to that stuff, it's fine with me. I'm not going to be confused when I buy a product at the grocery store as to whether it's plant-based or vegan. I'll be able to figure that out. I don't think too many people are going to have confusion issues. So if people want to call that stuff plant-based, it's fine with me.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with it too. I kind of disagree a little bit about not causing confusion issues because people, we interchangeably use plant-based for vegan.
Yeah, we do,
and we would need to stop doing that. I think a lot of people do that. If we were trying to describe a vegan diet and using the term plant-based, and there is, it's unclear whether that means vegan or not. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
might be something we need to figure out, but maybe not. Hey, before we get to the weather report, a couple more comments. Shout out to Brandon Turner who got the Plant-Based Athlete book for Christmas. Looking forward to
nice. Very good.
And Britter says that it's time to make the official Plant-Based Morning Show coffee bean, which is actually kind of a great idea. And Brandon Turner agrees.
What does that mean? What is a plant-based?
We could team up with a coffee roaster to make an official Plant-Based Morning Show bean.
Sell
it and drink it every morning.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. I would be all into that. As long as it was sustainably made, right? Which I think all coffee is, right?
No,
and served at your local coffee shop. Another gift my mom got me. She got me that. Remember that Trade Coffee company?
Yeah,
sponsored us and gave us the. She got me that subscription too. She
another great one. We were just talking about that the other day too.
Yeah, I know.
I need to make sure my family keeps listening to the show.
Right. Around November, you just start pushing the show so that you can tell your gift ideas as we go through these lists, and then they give you good stuff.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let's jump into our weather report. As I said, it's very short today, not a whole lot. I found this one a little interesting though, because it's kind of in agreement with what I think. The news is that Veganuary founders Jane Land and Matthew Glover, who are in the news a lot recently, it's the 10-year anniversary of Veganuary. They say that switching to vegan cheese is regularly named among the biggest challenges for participants. And the quote was, "There's still work to do with vegan cheese." So they mentioned that after each Veganuary, there's a survey they do, ask for the 5 main challenges, and they are, in this order, I think: food shopping, cooking, eating out, response from friends and family, and cheese. So, I mean, the whole thing is a challenge, right?
That's pretty much the whole thing.
They didn't mention health reasons. I mean, health things. So that's a good thing, I guess, not to be concerned about health.
Okay.
But all the practical elements of being vegan are the difficult parts for people. And cheese. They didn't mention meat, but cheese is there. And I'm not too surprised by that. I think more people seem to really miss cheese or worry about giving up cheese than they do about, hamburgers or hot dogs or whatever the meat of choice is. So no big surprise there, but I just thought it was interesting that they say there's still work to do. And it's kind of true. Like,
I'm surprised by this. I thought that Daya's new V2 would have solved this problem.
And we still haven't tried it, so we shouldn't knock it. But somebody gave us a lackluster review, and I'm not surprised. Based on the first product, I don't know. It's hard to imagine V2 being good, but they said it was a huge investment. So I do need to try that. But it is funny though, because like, I think vegan meat's what has collapsed, and what has all the media bashing is about the vegan meat industry. And we think of vegan dairy is actually doing pretty well, especially with the milks, the oat milk and stuff like that. That's what's actually kind of getting a little bit of a foothold in omnivore diets. So it's interesting that they call out cheese here as the thing that, still has a lot of work. And it's true. Especially with like there are certain types of cheese that work, like cheese to have with crackers. Miyoko's does a pretty good job of that. But like for melting on pizza or nachos, if you're a barbarian like you are, Doug, and you're going to melt your own cheese in the microwave on nachos, I don't know. It's just not good yet at all. So I think they're right there. I agree with them on that one.
Yep.
And the only other thing I got today is that the Japanese government has awarded $27.7 million in funding to 2 alternative protein startups. Those are Umami United, who makes plant-based eggs, and Integriculture, cultivated meat biotech company, to support the nation's economy. $27 million doesn't sound like that much money from a government, but it's something. It's support, and that's a good thing. So There you go. There's your weather report. Kept it short for those who like to only listen to things up until the weather report, and then they jump out. So that Matt, now you can be with us still for the next part of the show. Yes, Doug.
I've got some real concerns about Just Egg, the Just company.
Oh yeah, the $100 million lawsuits.
They haven't been on the shelf. The space is still there, so I know they have, like, Ingles hasn't ended their relationship, but they have not been stocked for the last 2 times I've been to the grocery store.
Oh, wow. I wonder if that's a real thing. That was a drop in the bucket, a $100 million lawsuit for them, given that they're also doing the cultivated meat thing, where they must have billions in investment. I mean, I don't really know, but
didn't they have some other thing that some other negative report that they had? Maybe not.
I'm sure there's been something. I don't honestly know, but there was the big lawsuit thing was over a supplier. I think one of these bioreactors, wanted to be paid or something and wasn't.
Yeah.
You'll have to keep us posted on that, because I'm curious. I don't ever see that in the stores. So you just let me know if that ever comes back.
It? I guess you probably don't ever look in the egg section, do you?
No, I don't. We don't go. Is that where it is, in the egg section?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's right with the.
Okay.
With the,
it's not with the vegan cheeses and meats, which are usually all in their own little place.
Not at Ingles. It might be at other spots, but.
Right. There you go. That's why I don't see it. Good. You know what was out of stock, and I wasn't actually that surprised? Collard greens on New Year's. I tried to make black-eyed peas, which is a Southern good luck thing. I finally did it. And you have to have collards, Bianca told me, for money. That's how you bring in wealth. You eat collards on New Year's along with the black-eyed peas. And Harris Teeter, completely out of collards. Not even the bagged kind of collards. You couldn't get any of it.
Really?
The Southerners just bought it up. Yep.
Wow.
So I had to have kale with my black-eyed peas.
We had
but it's pretty good.
We had a massive, an enormous display of collard greens in the produce section at Ingles.
Oh yeah?
They took a whole thing that you would normally have, I don't know, a whole bunch of apples and bananas and all that stuff, and it was just nothing but collard greens. In
anticipation of the New Year's meals?
Yeah. It was like the day. It was like maybe the 30th.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that's apparently South or Harris Teeter did not do that. They just had the normal section, and it was all bought up. But I guess it's good. People buying up collard greens. Can't complain about that. Good, healthy choices.
They're probably cooking it in a bunch of lard, but
yeah. All right. Let's get to our articles today. Just 2 of them. One's quick. It's from the usual suspects here. New York Post, and I think the other one was
the Guardian,
Telegraph or Guardian. It was one of those ones. It was a Guardian. I think Guardian's not always anti-vegan.
No.
Are they? They're not, right?
Well, are you talking about the second article we have today?
No. There were 2 of these, and I only shared one with you because they were the same article. I think it was from Telegraph. One of those other ones that's always anti-vegan, and they capitalize, vegan food not healthy, and they capitalize the not just to sort of grab your attention, I guess. Anyway, this one from New York Post, same gist. Plant-based food seems healthy, but may not be the diet savior you think. Study.
Study.
Think again before ordering that Impossible Burger is what they say for the opening line. And I guess they're referring to the Impossible Whopper here, because they are talking about a study on fast food where researchers analyzed 1,868 meals from 50 fast food chains. compared the vegan choices, the plant-based choices, to the regular meals. I don't know why they had to do 1,800 meals. Like, I mean, I feel like 5 plant-based options in all of my. There's just not that many.
There's no way that there are 1,800 meals. Maybe it's not 1,800 vegan meals.
No, I think it's just all the meals, maybe, and 10 of them are vegan, and they.
I don't know. 37 vegan meals per fast food chain, which is definitely not.
Right. No, that would be too many. Unless they like, looked at all possible combinations and like said, if you can get a baked potato or a French fries, we'll count that as a meal. But I don't think so. But what they did, they looked at calorie count, allergens, nutrients, fiber, and salt in each meal. And what they found, within the country and chain, they made these comparisons, and they said there were no clear health benefits to ordering plant-based servings instead of the meat options. The quote is that, let's see. Here, not the quote just yet. On average, plant-based meals had less protein and sodium and more carbohydrates and sugar, and they did not have fewer calories than meaty meals. So that's across the board worse, basically. Less protein. Well, they did have less sodium. Part. The sodium's not. And that's often the criticism. So I'm surprised about that one, because people always say, oh, the Impossible and Beyond have so much sodium in them that they're not healthy.
But sugar, but in this case, less protein, equal calories.
And not fewer calories. Yeah, equal calories.
But what about saturated fat and stuff like that?
You'd have to imagine it'll be lower, just because the Beyond and Impossible do have less of it. They still have it, but it's less. So yeah, they didn't mention that one, which is surprising. But you think that would sort of show up in the calorie counting metric? But I guess there's some unsaturated fat in there that would make up for it. So anyway, no big win for the plant-based food in the fast food chains. But I don't think. That's not why I was getting Impossible Whopper. It wasn't for health reasons. It was so I could get a vegan thing at the fast food place. That didn't harm animals. But do you think that
people? So I had that same reaction. I was like, who's going to a fast food restaurant for a healthy meal anyway? But you have to wonder if they're ever going to break out of the vegan going to Burger King looking for a vegan option. Like, are there people who are going through the line thinking, maybe I'm at Burger King, it's going to be unhealthy. Maybe this Impossible Whopper will be a little bit healthier.
Yeah, there probably are a lot of those people. I think a lot of people can, at least before plant-based stuff got all vilified, I think people were thinking this is lighter and healthier and better for me. I just feel better about this choice. So this would uproot that a bit. It'd be nice. I mean, that'd be a great angle to take. Right? If you could actually just make a healthier thing, even if it tastes a little bit not quite as rich and decadent, like if it actually was significantly healthier, that would be a good way to get people to choose the plant-based option. They should put the Impossible Light Burger there. The Impossible Light Whopper would be a good choice.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. I mean, maybe, but there also are no animals harmed in the making of that burger.
Right. Or people don't care about that. For the most part, they don't care.
I do, Matt. I do.
I know, but the people in Burger King, they don't really care.
They don't care.
I don't think. So yeah, no surprise there. As much as I hate like some of this angle of these kind of coverages, I think this is accurate. Plant-based food seems healthy, but may not be the diet savior you think. That was the headline, and I think that goes for regular food too, not just fast food. Certainly not true with fast food. It's still junk. But I think it's not a diet savior. It's not like you just go plant-based and suddenly your diet woes are solved. If you eat junk food and salt and refined carbohydrate and sugar, it doesn't matter if it's plant-based. It's just going to be the same thing. So I think it's a good headline. It's true. And it does seem healthy, but just like with an omnivorous diet, you got to make really good choices to make sure it is healthy. Maybe it's easier to make those good choices when you have still fewer options with plant-based. But
yeah, the problem with this, again, and this is something that I just keep coming back to because it just pisses me off every time I read one of these articles, is like this headline: plant-based food seems healthy but may not be. Right? That's plant-based processed Impossible burgers is what we're talking about. We're not talking about plant-based foods in the same way that CNN was talking about plant-based foods for the healthiest diets in 2024, which is nuts and seeds and fruits and vegetables and whole grains. I mean, this headline is not accurate. They're, processed plant-based foods, highly processed plant-based food.
It's a good point. Not. And I think plant-based used to mean, at least it meant healthy, right? Even if it meant there was some meat possibly still included in the meal, a plant-based meal meant, made from plants. It wasn't junk processed food. And it doesn't mean that anymore. It doesn't mean the same as vegan, and it doesn't necessarily even mean vegan but really healthy. So it doesn't mean anything. It's just ambiguous, and it's not great. You're right about that. Yeah. But as I was reading this, I like this is not the point they're trying to make. But well, I guess it is, because I do mention the less protein thing. I said this last year when I went on some soccer trips into, I forget where we were. Maybe it was I think it was Myrtle Beach. But like we went to restaurants out with the soccer team, and I could find anything to eat. And I was thinking, if I just ate like shrimp or something now, I could get shrimp on a salad and I'd have a pretty darn healthy meal compared to what I'm eating instead, which is a salad and a bunch of French fries and some other stuff. And I know it's not that different. Yes, I could just get full on the salad. I could pass on the French fries. I could find something, maybe some other vegetable they could serve me on the side and cook specially, but it wouldn't feel like a big filling meal. And like, if I want to get full out at a restaurant like that, like I don't know. There's times when that plant-based option is not the healthiest choice, but you do it because it's the ethical thing. But it's not wrong. There are times when, the plant-based stuff has more carbohydrates and less protein, and that's not always good.
You're right about that. Absolutely.
But I don't know there's no solution. I don't have a solution for that. It's a part of, the answer is, it's not that easy to be vegan. You have to, it's a sacrifice sometimes, and you gotta do it. All right, on to the next. This one's interesting to me. I like this a lot, and I also don't know if it's the best approach or kind of a cop-out. The headline is, instead of feeling like a failure, I'm trying half-arsed veganism, and you can too. It's by Chloe Hamilton. She's from The Guardian, or at least writing for The Guardian in this case. And she's talking about Veganuary a little bit. It doesn't seem like you need Veganuary to have this article, but Veganuary has rolled around. She's been interested before. She's in a WhatsApp group she started called Vegan Curious. She started it last May, and they're in this thing chatting about things they could do to be more plant-based. But when she's actually tried to do it, it doesn't actually happen. She says, in setting up the WhatsApp group, I wanted to gather a collection of tasty vegan recipes that I could cook regularly and easily for my family in an attempt to make my move once and for all into a more sustainable, ethical way of eating. And then I just didn't. Weekly shop and meal prep is already a source of anxiety. So once you add that in, it gets harder. And now Veganuary is here, and she's thinking of opting in, but she's not doing the Veganuary as most people know it. She's doing half-arsed Veganuary, which apparently is something that was made up by poet, vlogger, and presenter Lena Norms. And basically it means you just every now and then get a vegan thing. And in this case, you back it up with some research by BJ Fogg. He's the author of that book, Tiny Habits. He's the founder of the Behavior Design Lab at Stanford University. And his idea is that rather than breaking a habit, we should untangle it. Basically, this is small steps approach. Instead of going vegan, even for a month, you start with the very smallest step, like ordering oat milk in your latte or something like that. There's no real structure here. It doesn't seem. She's just kind of like doing that and figuring the more times she can get that oat milk latte or make a vegan choice, the more it will start to become real in her life. So I don't know. At first I liked this and I thought this is good. Someone's taking a small step approach to going vegan. But then I thought I don't see this going anywhere beyond the lattes. It just sounds like you don't want to be vegan. Beyond just ordering the lattes, like this minor changes.
There were a couple examples she talked about, and some of them bigger than others. Vegan, bringing vegan for breakfast, like having a vegan breakfast. That's like a pretty good first small step, right? Like I've probably given that advice several times. But then there's others like choose a vegan salad dressing. Like, okay, like how often, half the time your salad dressing is probably vegan already because it's, Italian or something and balsamic. So like how big of a jump is that? And then there were, vegan snacks. That's another good one. I like that one. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I just, I like you. I wish there was a little bit of structure there with the being a half-arsed vegan to choose a few things, stick to those, maybe do that for 6 months and then choose a few more things and build on it. I don't know.
Yeah. And I don't want to sound like, vegan snob here or whatever, who's saying, come on, like you need to be all the way vegan if you're going to do it. Cause I definitely don't believe that. And I think really small steps is a great way to change that. And probably better than actually going vegan, especially for saying I'm just vegan now. I don't know if it's better than a challenge for 30 days. I like, challenges are good in a lot of ways. But they make you do some stuff. Sometimes it's hard. And I don't, to me, this seems like she's never going to do something that's hard. It sounds like when she feels like getting the oat milk and the latte, she's going to do that. When she feels like getting a vegan salad dressing, she's going to do that. But there's no real like commitment of any kind here. So I'm just thinking, like, for habit change in general, is this actually good? Is this BJ Fogg tiny habits stuff, like, is that actually helping anyone? If this is what they take from it? And I don't really think so. I really think it just sounds like you can't, in this case, be vegan. So you're doing this thing that maybe allows you to feel okay about your choices, and like maybe you're making progress, but you don't really care if the progress actually happens or not. I don't know. It's very different. Like, to me, like, when I think of small step habit change, I think of like really wanting to make a change. And having tried again and again and I can't, or knowing from my past performance that, like, if I just dive into something all the way like I want to, chances are it'll only last me a couple weeks or a month, and then I'll burn out and get tired of it. So you purposely apply this restraint and say, I'm only going to let myself do this much right now, and then I'm going to build up all this excitement for the next step. Like if you're trying to become a runner, for example, it's probably not good to start running 45 minutes a day. You probably should force yourself to just run 5 minutes for the first few days. And then you'll be excited to increase that if you are successful in doing that for a whole week or whatever. And then you let yourself go more. Even though you want to do more right now, you're not doing it because you know it's not the best way for you to change. Like, that's a really good use of small steps to me. When you don't really actually want the change and you're just doing the small steps to kind of get yourself to do it, I don't know if that really works. I kind of have a feeling that it doesn't work. I don't know. I guess I haven't been successful with that.
I guess it depends on if your goal is to actually go vegan, right? I mean, if your goal is just to reduce your animal product consumption, then maybe this would work. Like, right, you start like, okay, all I'm gonna do is salad dressings, and you start doing salad dressings, and then 6 months from now you don't even think about it because you just have the salad dressings you like that happen to be vegan,
right?
And then maybe you choose something else. Maybe you only have vegan chips or whatever. And so, like, you kind of make tiny incremental changes, and then over time you've reduced your footprint a little, your meat consumption or animal consumption a little bit. But that's not a way to go vegan, right? Like, that's not a way to make any sort of significant change, I don't think.
Right. I think you're right about that. Like, I do think if it's part of a big structured thing, it actually could work. Like what you said, and you could actually speed it up more than that. Like, you could say, I'm going to do this for just the first month. For Veganuary, all my coffee, whatever, lattes is always going to be oat milk. I'm just going to, it's going to be the beginning of untangling. And then the next month, once that's successful, I'm going to take this next step. And maybe that's the breakfast thing, or maybe it's something not even quite that big, but you've got sort of a plan. And maybe she does, and she's just not telling it here. I don't know. That can work. But the way the tone here is that, like, I'm just going to kind of do these things when I feel like it. And, I think by every time I do make a vegan decision, it's going to move me further in that direction. And I just don't know if that's true. Maybe it is. I don't know. She says, I do wonder whether my half-arsed attempts will lead to, for want of a better word, a whole-arsed lifestyle change, but I'm not putting a time scale on that, and I certainly don't expect to achieve it within a single month. So there you go. I think she does want to make this change. But so I think, given that you actually want to make the change, if she actually does, and it sounds like she does, I would add just a little bit more structure. Not saying you need to do Veganuary all the way, because that's hard. But it's just a little bit more of a stretch here, I think, is good.
Yeah, Miss Jeffrey says this thing. Oh wait, this thing she's doing doesn't sound like they have any goalposts. So what's the motivation? Which I guess maybe we're finding a little bit of that. Aaron D says this is like the 1% better each day approach. James Clear. I don't know that it is entirely.
Right. That's the thing. I like that approach. I think that's smart. Like we said, though, I don't think it sounds like if she gets the oat milk one day, she's okay if she doesn't get it another day. It's just
right.
This just sounds like when you feel like it. But if it was do that the first day, and then the next day do a little more, and the next day do a little more, or even do the same, but just don't go backwards. I don't know. I think that can work. Because like I said, I really do like the small steps thing. I think it's in the right context. I think it's way better than just going for it. But yeah, I don't know about this one.
what I think half-arsed vegan should be is that you're default to vegan, and then sometimes you cheat a little bit. I mean, like, I think that for a lot of people is like the best way to like eat a mostly plant-based, mostly vegan diet is you're defaulting to that, but then you go out to dinner with some people and they want to share some Brussels sprouts cooked in butter, and you indulge in it, and that's fine. I think that
if everyone can do that
works for a lot of people, and I think that's that's not my approach, because I know that if I did that, it would be like a slippery slope, and also for many ethical reasons and other things, I wouldn't do that. But I think that works for a lot of people, and I think it's great.
Yeah. All right. Well, good. I hope it works for her. Chloe Hamilton, if you're listening, which I'm sure you're not, keep us posted. Love to hear how this goes. Come on the show, please. I would love to hear how this goes, because I'm always into these habit change ideas. And if someone can crack the code and say, I found the way to actually do something hard without it ever being hard, then great. That's what we need. All right. Anything else, Doug? Any other comments? We're done 5 minutes early, which is okay.
No, not really. No, some back and forth between Grew to Legends and Mr. Jeffrey about the first one, but first story. But no, I think that's about it.
All right, good.
Short episode today.
Grew to Legends and Mr. Jeffrey, are they like arch nemesis now? It seems like there's a lot of mixing it up that happens.
No, I think it's good banter. I like it.
I do too. I think it's great. I think the different viewpoints is what we need. What we need more of in this whole vegan movement. Actually, I think it's a great thing.
Absolutely.
Rather than echo chamber. Echo chamber, not good. All right, good. Well, that's it. We made it through our week. We've made it 2 days into this year, and we didn't have any flop or failure yet. So good for us. Small steps. Next week we're going to do three shows, and then and we'll be back. And new content's coming. There's email in the works. There's a talk of an additional audio show format thing. So stuff's coming. You'll see stuff soon.
We're not going to take the half-arsed approach to the morning show this year.
No, we kind of did. No, we didn't. We didn't. We did it every day. That was pretty good. Right. And we reduced it to 3 days. But that's not a half-arsed approach.
No.
We showed up a lot. And then I started putting the episodes out the next day instead of the actual day.
It's bad when my mom is sending me links to things we talked about the day before when she would listen to the show. Normally she would have known that we already talked about that, but
Right. I know. It crossed my mind after our show yesterday. I said, what would be a good New Year's goal if I said I'm going to get the shows always up the same day of, and then I didn't on the very first day.
You failed immediately. Yeah.
But maybe today I'll do it and I'll get back on track. We'll see. We'll find out.
We'll see.
All right.
I don't have a ton of faith.
Well, with the new commitment to content and more serious, maybe that'll be part of it. Maybe a required part of the job.
All right. I like it.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks for chatting it up. Sorry I couldn't see the comments today, but Doug could. We'll be back on Tuesday, and I hope you all enjoy your weekend.
Yeah. Have a great weekend, everybody. See ya.
Okay. Bye.